Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Yumi Nurulhuda Indah Fitri, a student of English Department, batch 2019, University of Riau. Here, I'm gonna give you guys some tutorial about using SPSS to range your data. By the way, I make this video to fulfill my assignment in Statistika Pendidikan subject. So, without any further ado, for the first material will be about validity and reliability test. But before that, are you wondering, guys, what is reliability and validity test? Here, I give you a description or just a slide explanation about validity and reliability test. Okay, validity is the accuracy of thoroughness of an instrument in a measurement, while the reliability test is used to determine the consistency of the measuring instrument, whether the measuring instrument used is reliable and remains consistent if the measurement is repeated. Based on the explanation above, we can conclude that reliability and validity is really important for you guys if you want to range your data from the questionnaire, for example. Okay, now we come to the steps. Okay, first of all, the thing that we need to have is, of course, the data. Here, I'm using my data from my questionnaire, that is the implementation of flashcard in vocabulary learning for elementary school students. So, before we make the data into SPSS, we have to make the data total. Like this. So the formula is about summary, and then we have to block from the first data until it all become blue like this. And after we get all of the data total, we click enter and then pull down all the number. And voila, this is the total data. Now we go to SPSS. Okay, this is my data in SPSS. We come to variable view first. Actually, before I change the name into x1, x2, x3, the name is about variable 1, variable 2, and variable 3. And I have changed into x1 until x19, but for the last data, we change into total. And then to have validity of the data, we come to data view, and then click analyze, and then correlate. And after that, there's an option bivariate, click bivariate, and put all the data into the right side. We can use shift and then click down row. And then make sure that you have clicked percent to tilt and select significant correlation like this. And this is the data. And I have put the data into Microsoft Word. So to see the validity, we have two ways. The first is to compare the significance of the data. If the significance is smaller than 0.05, it means that the data is valid. The next is to compare between Erhitung and Ertable. So the respondent from my questionnaire is about 23. So the air product is in the column 23 is about 0.431. For your information, the air product, to find the air product, you can find in the Google because it is available there. And then if the R table is bigger than air product, so the data are valid. Okay, the next is reliability test. We use the same SPSS data. It's kind of similar. For the first, we still click analyze, and then we click scale, and after that choose reliability analysis, and we move all the data except the total. Move into the right side items, and then we click statistics. Make sure that we have clicked item, scale if item deleted, none, continue, and then we click OK. So this is the reliability statistic. And I have put the reliability statistic into Microsoft Word. So based on the data above, the cron-batch alpha is about 0.836 and the total is about 19. Based on the data above, the data is reliable because the cron-batch alpha value is bigger than 0.6. Note, if the data is bigger than 0.6 is valid, but if the data is under 0.6 is not valid. So guys, what do you think about this tutorial? Easy, right? I hope that you guys can interpret and using my video to arrange your data. Hello, now you are back with me, Yumi. Even in previous meeting, we learned about validity and reliability test. Now we learned about homogeneity, normality, and independent sample test. But before we come to the steps, it is better for me to explain one by one the material. Okay, for the first is about normality test. Normality test is a part of the classical assumption. The normality test aims to determine whether the residual value is normally distributed or not. A good regression model has a residual value that is normally distributed. The next is homogeneity test is used to determine whether some of the population variances are same or not. This test was carried out a prerequisite in the analysis of the independent sample t-test and ANOVA. The underlying assumption in the analysis of variances or ANOVA is the variances of the population are same. And the last is independent t-test. Independent t-test is a comparative test or different test to determine whether there is a significant difference in the mean or meaning between independent groups with interval or ratio data scale. The two independent groups referred to here are two unpaired groups, which is not same, meaning the data sources come from the different subject. Okay, that's all the slide depiction of this material that we learn in this good occasion. So we come to the steps. Okay, first of all, what we need to have is, of course, the data. But it is different because we need the data, but not as much as in the previous meeting. We have to make the total data from the first questionnaire and the second questionnaire like this, and we have to make signed. For the first variable is about before material is given, and the second is after material is given. And after we sum all the data, we come to the SPSS and copy paste the data. Here I have copied the data. We come to variable view. In the first variable view, I put penilaian because my value is about before a material and after material flashcard is given, and then hasil is the score of test and pretest. So we come to data view, and the first step is about normality test. Like usual, we click analyze, and then we click descriptive statistic, and then click explore. Okay, for penilaian, I put on the factor list, and then hasil I put on the dependent list. Okay, because it is a normality test, we have to make sure that we click the descriptive, click continue, and then okay. This is the normality test. I have put the normality test in Microsoft Word. Nih. Based on the data above, we can say that the sign to tell both Kolmogorov-Smirnov and Safarovil is bigger than 0.05. We can conclude that the presenting data is normal. Let me speak in bahasa. Dasar pengambilan keputusan, jika nilai signifikan lebih besar dari 0,05, maka nilai residual berdistribusi normal. Jika nilai signifikan lebih kecil daripada 0,05, maka nilai residual berdistribusi tidak normal. Next, we come to homogeneity test. We still use the same data. The first is click analyze, and then compare means. And then we click one way ANOVA. Same like in the previous, penilaian in the factor and hasil in the dependent list, and then click OK. Okay, this is my data, and I have put in Microsoft Word. Like this. Based on the data above, we can see that this sig-to-telt of ANOVA is 0.201. Like this, which is bigger than 0.05. We can conclude that the presenting data is homogeneous. And the last is about independent sample test. It is similar with a homogeneity test. We click analyze and then compare means, and then independent sample t-test. Like usual, penilaian is grouping variable and hasil in the test variable. And then we click define groups. Group 1 is 1, group 2 is 2, click continue, and then OK. This is the data, and I have put into Microsoft Word. Based on the data above, we can say that the sig-to-telt of independent sample tests are 0.201, which is bigger than 0.05. We can conclude that the presenting data is same. So guys, those are the tutorial about normality test, homogeneity test, and also independent sample. Easy, right? I hope that all of you guys can get the benefit about my tutorial. Thank you.